The Forbidden Zone, the signal that changed everything. Captain Alina Vasquez never believed in ghost stories. 23 years of deep space salvage had taught her that the universe was full of mysteries. But they all had logical explanations. Dead ships, abandoned stations, lost cargo containers floating in the void, these were her bread and butter. She made her living from the discarded remnants of galactic civilization, and she was good at it. Her ship, the Resilient Dawn, was a patchwork of salvaged parts, held together by determination and stubbornness. The bridge was cramped, but functional, filled with the soft blue glow of holographic displays and the quiet hum of life support systems. Alina sat in her captain's chair, dark hair pulled back in a practical ponytail, brown eyes scanning the latest salvage reports from the outer rim. Territories. "Arya, show me the sector scan results," she commanded. Addressing the ship's advanced AI companion, the artificial intelligence materialized as a shimmering holographic figure, a woman with features that seemed to shift between various ethnicities, designed to be both approachable and otherworldly. "Captain, I've detected 17 potential salvage sites in the Kepler 442 system. However, I must note an unusual energy signature approximately 2 light-years from our current position." Elena's interest was piqued. "What kind of signature?" "The pattern suggests an automated distress beacon, but the frequency is ... peculiar. It's using communication protocols that haven't been seen for over 3 millennia. 3,000 years. Alina whistled low. That would put the signal's origin back to the early days of galactic civilization, when dozens of species first began to explore beyond their home systems. Technology from that era was incredibly rare and valuable. Set a course for the signal's origin, Alina decided, but keep the jump drives warm. If this turns out to be a trap, I want to be able to run. As the Resilient Dawn moved through hyperspace, Alina couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't going to be a routine salvage operation. The signal was coming from a region of space that the galactic charts marked simply as Uninhabited Zone 7 Alpha. But Alina knew the spacer's slang for that region, the Dead Zone, the Dead Zone's dark history. No one talked about the Dead Zone openly. It was one of those subjects that made entire rooms go quiet when mentioned. Alina had heard whispers over the years, stories of ships that ventured into that region and never returned. Not destroyed, not crashed, just ... gone. The Galactic Council had issued advisories against travel to the zone, but they'd never given official reasons. Arya's voice interrupted her thoughts. "Captain, we're approaching the signal source. Dropping out of hyperspace in 30 seconds. Alina gripped the arms of her chair as the ship lurched slightly during the transition. The view screen cleared, revealing a sight that made her breath catch in her throat. Before them stretched a massive artificial structure, easily the size of a small moon. It was clearly ancient, its dark metal surfaces scarred by millennia of cosmic radiation and micrometeorite impacts. But it wasn't dead. Lights pulsed along its surface in slow, rhythmic patterns, like a heartbeat made of electricity. "Arya, are you getting any readings on that thing?" "Scanning now, Captain. The structure appears to be an orbital platform of unknown origin. Its design doesn't match any known architectural patterns in our databases. However, I'm detecting multiple energy sources and what appears to be a docking bay." Alina stared at the structure. Something about it seemed familiar, though she couldn't place why. Any signs of life? Negative on biological signatures, but there are definitely active systems. The distress beacon is coming from within the structure. The threshold station. Alina made her decision. take us in, but stay ready to jump out if things go sideways. As the resilient Dawn approached the mysterious platform, Alina noticed something that made her skin crawl. The docking bay Arya had identified was perfectly sized for her ship. Not approximately the right size, exactly the right size. Arya, scan our ship's dimensions and compare them to that docking bay. Captain, the docking bay appears to be designed specifically for vessels of our configuration. This is ... highly improbable. Elena's hands were steady as she piloted the ship into the bay, but her mind was racing. The bay's atmosphere was breathable, the gravity was exactly what she was used to, and the docking clamps fit her ship perfectly. It was as if someone had been expecting her. She suited up in her environmental armor, a sleek, dark blue outfit that provided protection without restricting movement. The helmet retracted into the collar when not needed, and the suits integrated. Systems could keep her alive for hours in hostile environments. I'm going aboard, Alina announced. Arya, maintain ship security and keep the engines ready. Captain, I strongly advise against going alone. The statistical probability of this being a trap is I know the risks. Alina interrupted, but that beacon is calling for help. If there's someone alive in there, they've been waiting for a very long time. Inside the ancient station, the airlock opened with a soft hiss, revealing a corridor that was both alien and strangely familiar. The walls were made of a dark metal that seemed to absorb light, but bioluminescent strips provided adequate illumination. The architecture was functional but elegant, with clean lines and efficient use of space. Elena's boots made soft sounds on the metal floor as she moved deeper into the station. Her suit's sensors detected no immediate threats, but she kept her hand near the plasma pistol on her hip. The distress beacon was stronger now, coming from somewhere deeper in the structure as she walked. Alina began to notice details that made her increasingly uneasy. The corridor was built for beings of roughly human proportions. The door controls were at the right height for her to reach comfortably. Even the air composition, according to her suit's sensors, was almost identical to Earth's atmosphere. This is impossible, she muttered. Earth was supposedly destroyed thousands of years ago. The corridor opened into a vast chamber that took Elena's breath away. The room was enormous, with a domed ceiling that displayed what looked like a view of space. But it wasn't the size that shocked her, it was the contents. Hundreds of stasis pods lined the walls, each one containing a human figure. Men and women of various ages, all perfectly preserved, all obviously human. At the center of the chamber stood a massive console covered in holographic displays showing star charts, ship movements, and what appeared to be real-time feeds from various points throughout the galaxy. Alina approached one of the stasis pods, her heart pounding. The figure inside was a woman about her own age, with Asian features and short black hair. A nameplate on the pod read Dr. Sarah Kim, Xenobiologist, Earth Defense Force, Earth Defense Force, Alina whispered. But Earth was destroyed in the Great War. That is what they were told, a voice said behind her. Alina spun around, her hand moving to her weapon. A holographic figure had materialized near the central console, an elderly man with kind eyes and a sad smile. He wore what appeared to be a military uniform, though the design was unlike anything Alina had seen. "Who are you?" Alina demanded. I am Admiral James Morrison, former commander of the Earth Defense Force. Or rather, I am a digital copy of Admiral Morrison. The original died 2,000 years ago. Elena's mind reeled. The Earth Defense Force was real, but the histories say That Earth was destroyed by the Hegemony Coalition 3,000 years ago. The holographic admiral's expression grew even sadder. Earth was not destroyed, Captain Vasquez. It was hidden. We chose to disappear rather than continue a war that would have consumed the galaxy. The truth about humanity. Elena lowered her weapon, but remained alert. I don't understand. Why would you hide an entire planet? Admiral Morrison gestured to the star charts surrounding them. Because we were winning, Captain, and that terrified everyone else. The hologram began to pace, his movements eerily lifelike. Humanity had only been in space for a few centuries when the first conflicts began. We were newcomers, naive about galactic politics. When the Hegemony Coalition attacked us, they expected a quick victory. Humans were young, technologically inferior, and vastly outnumbered. But they underestimated us, Elena said, beginning to understand. Exactly, they underestimated human adaptability, our refusal to surrender, our ability to turn any situation to our advantage. Within 50 years, we had not only repelled their invasion, but had begun to push them back. Our technology advanced at a rate that should have been impossible. The Admiral paused, his expression growing haunted. But the war was changing us. Each victory came at a cost. We were becoming something harder, colder. We were on the verge of wiping out entire species, and we realized that if we continued, we would become the very monsters we had fought against. Elena looked around the chamber at the sleeping figures. So you chose to disappear. We staged our own defeat, made it look like Earth had been destroyed, that humanity was extinct. Then we retreated to hidden worlds, established stations like this, one to monitor the galaxy. We became watchers, guardians operating from the shadows. But why wake me up now? Why reveal this? The Admiral's image flickered slightly. Because the galaxy is facing a new threat, Captain, one that will require humanity's unique gifts to overcome. The Void Seekers have returned, Elena had heard. Whispers of the Void Seekers, ancient beings that supposedly existed outside normal space-time. Entities that consumed entire star systems. Most people dismissed them as legend. They're real, she asked. Very real. And they're heading for the core worlds. The current galactic powers are too divided to set in their ways to mount an effective defense. They need us, Captain. They need humanity's gift for turning impossible odds into victory. The choice. Elena stared at the stasis pods, her mind struggling to process everything she'd learned. Humanity wasn't extinct. Her people had chosen exile over conquest, sacrifice over revenge, and now they were needed again. What do you want from me? She asked. I want you to wake them up, the Admiral replied. I want you to help us return humanity to the galaxy, not as conquerors, but as protectors. Elena approached the central console, her hands hovering over the controls. And if I refuse, then you leave, and humanity remains hidden. The galaxy faces its fate without us. But I don't think you'll refuse, Captain. You're here because you answered a distress call. You're here because you believe in helping others, even when it's dangerous. Elena looked at the nearest stasis pod, at the sleeping woman inside. Dr. Sarah Kim had been asleep for 2,000 years, waiting for someone to wake her up, waiting for the call to return home. How many humans are there? Elena asked, counting the hidden colonies and deep space stations. Perhaps 50 million. Not many compared to the galactic population, but enough to make a difference. Her finger hovered over the activation control. Once she pressed it, there would be no going back. Humanity would emerge from the shadows, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. She thought about the stories she'd heard growing up, tales of brave explorers and heroic adventures among the stars. She'd always dreamed of being part of something greater than herself, something that mattered. "Arya," she said into her communicator, "are you receiving this?" "Yes, Captain. I've been monitoring the entire conversation. The historical data correlates with several unexplained anomalies in the galactic records." Alina took a deep breath. "Then you know what I have to do." She pressed the activation control, the awakening protocol. The first awakening. The central console came alive with a symphony of lights and sounds. Alina watched in fascination as systems that had been dormant for millennia began to activate throughout the station. The hum of power flowing through ancient circuits filled the air, and the holographic displays brightened with new information. Awakening. Protocol initiated, the Admiral's voice announced. Beginning revival sequence for priority personnel. Alina moved to the nearest stasis pod as it began to glow with soft blue light. The woman inside Dr. Sarah Kim began to stir. Her eyes fluttered open, revealing dark brown irises that seemed to take in everything at once. The pod's lid retracted with a soft hiss, and Dr. Kim sat up slowly, her movements careful and deliberate. "Status report," Dr. Kim said, her voice slightly hoarse from her long sleep. "You've been in stasis for 2,000 years, Alina replied. "My name is Captain Alina Vasquez. I'm human, like you." Dr. Kim's eyes widened. 2,000 years. Then the exile protocol worked. We actually disappeared. She looked at Alina with new interest. "You're not from the colonies. Your genetic markers are ... different. Where are you from?" Alina felt a chill run down her spine. "I'm from the Outer Rim, born on a salvage station in the Kepler system. My parents were. I thought they were refugees from the Human-Centauri War." "There was no Human-Centauri War," a new voice said. Alina turned to see another stasis pod opening, revealing a tall man with graying hair and intelligent green eyes. "I'm Dr. Marcus Chen, former head of the Genetic Preservation Project. Captain Vasquez, you're not from any known human colony unless..." World began to spin. "What do you mean?" Dr. Chen approached her, his movements becoming steadier as he fully awakened. "Your genetic profile suggests you're descended from humans who were never part of the exile protocol. Humans who remained in the galaxy after we disappeared. But that's impossible. The histories say humanity was extinct." "The histories lie," Admiral Morrison's hologram said. "They had to, but apparently not all humans were accounted for when we staged our extinction. Some remained, scattered across the galaxy, their true heritage hidden or forgotten." Alina felt like the ground was shifting beneath her feet. Everything she thought she knew about herself, about her people, was wrong. "How many others are there like me?" "Unknown," Dr. Chen replied. "But if you're any indication, humanity never truly disappeared. We simply became invisible." The Guardian's revelation more stasis pods were opening throughout the chamber. Alina watched as dozens of humans emerged from their long sleep, each one a piece of a puzzle she was only beginning to understand. Scientists, soldiers, engineers, diplomats, all of them preserved from an era when humanity had been a major galactic power. "Captain Vasquez," Admiral Morrison called. "I need you to interface with the Guardian." The Guardian, the artificial intelligence that has maintained this station for 2 millennia. It has been monitoring the galaxy, waiting for the right moment to reveal our existence. It believes that moment has come. Alina approached a new console that had risen from the floor. As she placed her hands on the interface, her consciousness was suddenly filled with images and data streams. She saw the galaxy as it truly was, not the peaceful federation of species that the official histories claimed, but a collection of fractured civilizations, held together by fear and ancient grudges. The Guardian's voice spoke directly into her mind, not through her ears, but through some deeper connection. "Welcome, Captain Vasquez. I have been waiting for you. You knew I was coming. I knew someone like you would come. Someone who carried the genetic markers of both hidden humanity and the exiled colonies. Someone who could bridge the gap between what we were and what we've become." Alina saw flashes of history, the real history of humanity's place in the galaxy. She saw human ships defending alien worlds from cosmic threats. She saw human scientists sharing their knowledge freely with other species. She saw human explorers pushing the boundaries of known space, always curious, always seeking new horizons. We weren't conquerors, Alina realized. We were protectors. Yes. And now the galaxy needs its protectors again. The Void Seekers have begun their final assault on this reality. They seek to consume all matter and energy, to return the universe to the cold emptiness they call home. Alina saw images of star systems being consumed, entire civilizations vanishing in moments as reality itself was devoured. The threat was real, and it was coming. "What can we do?" she asked. "We're only 50 million people against a force that can consume stars." "Numbers have never been humanity's strength," the Guardian replied. "Your strength lies in your ability to adapt, to find solutions where others see only problems. You are the species that looks at impossible odds and asks, how can we make this work?" The awakening spreads. Alina's connection to the Guardian ended, and she found herself back in the chamber, surrounded by awakened humans. But something had changed. Each of them was looking at her with a mixture of respect and expectation. "You've been chosen," Dr. Kim said. "The Guardian has selected you to lead the reintegration." "Lead? I'm just a salvage captain." "You're more than that," Dr. Chen said. "You're proof that humanity survived even when we thought we had completely disappeared. You're the bridge between our past and our future." Alina looked around the room at the faces of her people, her true people. For the first time in her life, she felt like she belonged somewhere. What about the others, the sleeping colonies? "Already awakening," Admiral Morrison replied. "The activation signal is spreading through the network. Within hours, every human in the galaxy will know that we're no longer alone." Alina felt the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. And the galactic powers? How will they react when they discover that humanity isn't extinct? "With fear," Dr. Kim said honestly. "We were becoming too powerful when we left. They'll assume we've spent the last 2 millennia planning revenge." "But we haven't," Alina said. "Have we?" "No," the Admiral replied. "We've been healing, learning to be better than we were. The humans who wake up today aren't the same ones who went to sleep 2,000 years ago. We've had time to understand what we really want to be." The galaxy response. Lena moved to the central console, which now displayed real-time communications from across the galaxy. The awakening was causing panic. Alien governments were holding emergency sessions. Military fleets were being mobilized. The galaxy was preparing for war. "They're terrified," Alina observed. "Of course they are," Dr. Chen said. "From their perspective, a supposedly extinct species just reappeared with technology they can't understand and resources they can't track. They're expecting us to seek revenge for our supposed extinction. Alina watched the displays, seeing the fear and confusion spreading across the galaxy. We need to show them we're not their enemies. How? Dr. Kim asked. They won't trust anything. We say Alina had an idea. We show them. The Void Seekers, when will they arrive? The Guardian's voice filled the chamber. The first wave will reach the galactic core in 72 hours. The major powers' fleets are already moving to intercept, but they will fail. Their tactics are too rigid, their cooperation too limited. Then we help them, Alina said. We show the galaxy that humanity has returned not as conquerors, but as allies. The returned Alina stood at the center of the chamber, surrounded by the awakened humans. Each of them was looking to her for leadership, for direction in this new age. Send a message to every government in the galaxy, Alina commanded. Tell them that humanity has returned, and we're here to help. Tell them that the age of hiding is over, Captain, Dr. Kim said. They'll never believe us. Then we'll prove it, Alina replied. We'll stand with them against the Void Seekers. We'll show them that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons, it's our refusal to give up. Our determination to protect what matters. Alina looked out at the stars through the chamber's transparent dome. Somewhere out there, the Void Seekers were coming. Somewhere out there, the galaxy was preparing for a war it couldn't win alone, but it wouldn't be alone. Humanity was back, and they were ready to do what they had always done best, face impossible odds and find a way to win. Admiral, Alina said, how long until all the colonies are fully awakened? 12 hours, Captain. But the fleets can be ready to move in 6. Alina nodded. Then we have 6 hours to prepare for the fight of our lives. Send word to every human ship, every colony, every station. Tell them that we're going home. Tell them that the galaxy needs us again. She turned to address the assembled humans. For 2,000 years, we've been in exile. We've been watchers, guardians in the shadows. But shadows can't stand against the Void Seekers. It's time to step into the light. Alina looked at each face in the room, seeing the determination and hope in their eyes. We're not the same species. That left the galaxy. We're better, we're stronger, and we're ready to prove that humanity's greatest victory isn't conquering our enemies, it's turning them into friends. The chamber filled with activity as humans throughout the galaxy began to wake up, to remember who they were and why they mattered. The age of exile was ending. The age of return had begun. Alina smiled as she watched the stars, knowing that somewhere out there, 50 million humans were preparing to remind the galaxy what it meant to be human, to face the impossible with courage, to protect the innocent with determination, and to never, ever give up. The silence was broken. Humanity had returned to the stars. Asterisk.